Hey, what's up? This is Chris Volz from Flaw, and you're watching Metal Nexus.
So, you had to have a drummer fill in last minute today.
Yeah.
How do you walk somebody through songs like that they've never heard? Or what tips did you give him?
I mean, it's not the first time we've had to do that. You know, honestly, when you play, you know, an average of 250 shows a year, there's going to be a few shows here and there where somebody has some kind of emergency or, you know, something happens. And that just happened to be today, unfortunately, which, you know, we'd rather it not be a big outdoor festival like this, but, you know, it's rock and roll. You roll with the punches. You know, we were very lucky to, you know, be friends with some really cool people, you know, some other really cool bands. The guys from Johnny Poole and Scott Stapp's band, they all came together, and Scott Stapp's drum tech learned a song. You know, it was a short set. We did 4 songs.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was able to learn the songs well enough to, you know, get through them in about an hour.
I seen he had some notes.
He did. He took a lot of notes, and, you know, I tried to cue him in as much as I possibly could, but that's hard to do when you're jumping around and you're all, you know, covered in sweat. Yeah, we want to say thank you very much, Glenn. You rocked it, and everybody that came together to help us out. You know, we love you guys, and you know, we pulled it off.
As someone who's seen Flaw, you know, and fellow Kentuckian, that's seen Flaw a handful of times, he pulled it off. He sounded pretty good, especially for having like an hour to practice. I think he did a phenomenal job.
I agree.
One thing I want to touch on is, unlike most musicians today, you really take time to actually talk to your fans, appreciate your fans, and have a bond with them. What made you want to go the step further where other musicians don't?
Well, I mean, I went to concerts when I was a kid, and it was always so hard, you know, to go meet somebody, you know, that you may have looked up to, and I just, you know, I didn't want to be that way, I mean, you know, music for me and all the lyrics that I write, you know, they're very personal, but they're also very emotional, and you know, our fans really connect with that, and so I want them to see that, you know, that we're just normal people, and that, you know, that we appreciate, you know, we couldn't do this without them, you know, we may be extremely lucky to do something for a living that we love, but it doesn't mean we're any different or any better. So, you know, it's important. You know, it's really important for me to be able to, you know, to convey that to our fans, and so they see that.
So a few years ago, at Louder Than Life, the first time you guys played there, we talked about a resurgence of nu metal and how the genre is really making a comeback. You know, and getting some new blood in the game too. What do you think's been the biggest push as far as the genre really getting back to popularity like it was before?
Well, you know, I think, you know, music, like a lot of other things, especially in the entertainment world, it's on like a 10-year cycle. I mean, not exactly 10 years, but roughly around that time. And, you know, there's different genres that may take the forefront for a while, you know, for many years, and, you know, push all the others in the background. I think it has to do with, you know, a couple of different things. I think just the amount of bands that are coming out right now that sound the same kind of lends credence back to the bands of the early 2000s that, you know, we're kind of breaking the mold with nu metal. You know, adding like a little bit of hip hop, you know, influence in, you know, mixing heavy with soft, having, you know, songs with screaming, but also with, you know, really good melody hooks and really good harmonies. I think that nu metal as a whole encompasses all of that, and I think people were just, you know, people are getting tired of the same old cookie cutter bands coming out left and right, and the market is so oversaturated. You know, labels are, signing so many bands. And I'm not trying to say that there's not good bands getting signed now. There's a ton of talent. But I think that there were so many bands of the rock and metal genre that were coming out just sounding exactly the same that people kind of reverted back to their old loves. I think that's really helped kind of push new metal back out there. I mean, we're definitely happy about it. It's one of those things where I think if you really leave an impression on somebody, especially musically, that you can actually go away for a little while and come back and they still remember who you are. And we see that with our grassroots fan base all the time. So we're definitely happy about it.
You mentioned melody and harmony, and I think a good place to take this conversation now is, of course, the new EP, which is a companion to your previous album.
Yeah.
How do you think the two fit together?
Well, I mean, I think they fit together really well. I think basically with Divided We Fall, we wanted to make sure that people, saw that we were still the same Flaw that we were when we first came out. That we stayed true to our writing style. We do everything from heavy to soft, groovy, melodic, scream. So we had some songs, we didn't want to put too many ballads on Divided We Fall. We didn't want it to be too soft. And I think we got our point across. But then we had, these 4 or 5 songs sitting there that were just collecting dust. And, what better way to keep people, active, to show our fans that we're not going anywhere, than to put out an EP before we put out another full length. Because we are working on our new full length now. So, I just think it's one of those things where we really wanted to get the songs out and our fans wanted to hear them, so I think it's a perfect companion to it.
So I know you guys always have a lot of songs written, at all times. Do you already have songs done that you just need to record, or are you still demoing stuff?
Basically, the record's about halfway written right now. We do have songs that are kind of in their skeleton form that we need to finish up, but then we have songs that are done. But we won't go in to record the record until they're completely done. What we normally do is, if we plan to put between 10 and 12 songs on a record, then we'll write 16, and then we'll go in and we'll record 16. And, because a lot happens in the studio. There's songs that, may not be our favorite right now, where, when we actually track them in the studio, all these new ideas come out, and a song can actually develop into something that wasn't before just in the studio.
Yeah.
So, we like to record between 14 and 16 songs, and then after that's done, we listen back through them, and then we figure out, which are the best 10 or 12 out of that to put on the record.
I know the previous album, you recorded that with Rick Lander.
Yes.
Are you going that route again, or are you going with somebody else? Do you know yet?
We don't know yet. We're not exactly sure what we're going to do yet with that. There's Jay. Hey, Jay, say hi.
Hi. I didn't realize there was a camera there.
Go ahead.
We want to leave our options open. Rick is a great guy. He's got a great ear. We had a great time recording with him. So it's not out of the question. But at this time, we're going to leave our options open.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the 2 live tracks that were recorded on the album, well, somebody has a celebrated discography like you guys do. How do you pick what 2 songs to play live?
That was tough. We basically recorded the whole set and then thought about, what 2 songs do we think not only go over really well live that the crowd really gets into, but what are 2 songs that, everybody kind of, knows and remembers from us.
Yeah.
It was a tough choice, but we narrowed it down to only song.
Where'd you record them at?
Oh, that was a show we played in Chicago.
Concord Music Hall?
You played there. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, we also recorded a video for Do You Remember
that's
there?
Where the video was recorded.
Yeah, okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
The shows are from that, the live tracks are from that show.
Okay. So, you're no stranger to festivals, of course. You played Louder Than Life twice, various others, and Ozfest back in the day. Whenever you're playing with such a wide array of bands, or bands that are very similar, do you feel a competition amongst other bands? I want to put on the best show of the day.
Well, everybody wants to put on the best show. I think, you know, in the rock world, there's a lot less competition than, say, like in the hip hop world. Actually, a whole lot less competition. You know, a lot of the bands that we play festivals with, we've known for 10, 15 years. You know, we've been friends for a long time. Ozfest was our first experience at a big festival, and it was amazing. I mean, every single band hung out, you know, like all the buses parked next to each other back at Bus Row. And, you know, at the end of every night, you know, we break out barbecue grills and stuff and acoustic guitars, and we just hang out and, you know, have a good time. And so, I think that it's a much more tight-knit community, you know, in the rock and metal genre. And, you know, of course, everybody always wants to be, you know, the best. But, I mean, like you saw today, you know, there were, you know, 3 of our friends, you know, bands that are, you know, big national acts, you know, they all came together to help us out because our drummer wasn't here. And, I mean, that just speaks, you know, leaps and bounds about it. I mean, you know, everybody could have been like, you know, fuck them, you know, it's not my problem.
Yeah, it's great to have people that can step up like that and really help you out in the time of need.
Yep, absolutely.
So speaking of that, since we're in the new Flaw tourmobile, what if you've named it too, right?
Flaw Force One.
Flaw Force One.
Yeah.
So I know you said you were going to remodel it coming up, maybe after this tour. Do you have any plans yet?
Well, I mean, as you can see, it's only half done right now.
Yeah.
You know, we have this section over here for our gear, and then we have 4 bunks in the back. We're definitely going to upgrade this whole little seating area because right now it doesn't really, you know, compensate more than maybe 1 or 2 people. We're going to paint the outside all black, and I mean, that's about it. I mean, honestly, you know, it needs to be comfortable, but with our luck with vehicles, we're much more concerned about just making sure that, you know, the mechanical side of it does not falter.
Yeah, I know before you'd had some problems with your last tour van. Does it feel
Oh,
good
God.
to finally have something reliable?
Yeah, absolutely. We went through 4 RVs in 2 years. Yeah, it was, you know, and they happen at the most inopportune times too, like right in the middle of a tour or something. The thing would just completely crap out. So for 4 or 5 tours, we were renting a passenger van, but it was costing us like $3 grand a tour.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're throwing this money away, and you know, that's what gave us the idea to do a GoFundMe. You know, thank you so much, Flaw family. All of our fans really came together and helped us out because without them, we wouldn't have been able to get this. You know, so far this thing's kicking ass. So.
And speaking of Flaw family, you have one of the most dedicated fan bases there is in rock music. Other bands are aware of it. Everybody's aware of it. And like, if ending this interview, if there's one thing you could say to them for being such passionate fans, what would it be?
Just thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us over the past almost 20 years. You know, thank you for believing in us and never giving up on us. You know, thank you for connecting to the music the way you do. You know, for hearing the lyrics and understanding them for what they actually are. You know, just that we couldn't do it without you.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. United We Stand drops September 1st. If you haven't picked it up yet, you need to make sure you do. It's a perfect mix of melodic and heavy, and you even get 2 live tracks there as well. So make sure to pick it up. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.